If I was Abram, I go, it was your idea. What are you talking about? You told me to do this. I was working it out with God in chapter 15. And then Sarai's like, you want to bang Hagar? Welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel and I read the Bible. I'm reading every single chapter and verse in this Bible. We're not jumping around. We're not doing a year of devotionals. We're not just doing one part of it and then, extrapolating all sorts of wisdom from it. Sometimes it's tough to read it. It's more like this is more like a book on tape with some added commentary from someone that doesn't know what they're talking about. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, that bell, and, as you listen to me read this and say whatever I'm going to say about it, leave a comment, good or bad. It doesn't matter. I will probably read it, and I might even answer a couple of them. So we're in Genesis chapter 16. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children. Barren. She's been barren the whole time. It's an ongoing thing with us. I don't know if you've just joined us, but, we're very well aware of Sarai's barrenness. But she had an Egyptian maidservant named Hagar. If you want to know how she got this Egyptian maidservant, pop back to episode 12. So she said to Abram, "The Lord has kept me from having children. Go sleep with my maidservant. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Her vagina might just be an extension of Sarai's vagina. Like that could be how it worked in those days. We don't know what that culture was like. But sometimes maybe, one person's vagina was kind of the surrogate vagina to the person that owned them or employed them. Probably didn't own them, probably employed them. Abram agreed to what Sarai said. Now, by the way, Sarai's super hot, so I don't know if Hagar's attractive. She's Egyptian, and so probably incredibly beautiful as well. So after Abram had been living in Canaan 10 years, Sarai, his wife, took her Egyptian maidservant, Hagar, and gave her to her husband to be his wife. By the way, there's no sleeping with someone if they're not your wife. Look at chapter 12. He slept with Hagar, and she conceived. Yes! When she knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. Interesting biological reaction. Then Sarai said to Abram, "You are responsible for the wrong I am suffering. I put my servant in your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me." This is where the book is really weird, okay? She said to Abram, "The Lord has kept me from having children. Go sleep with my maidservant." If I was Abram, I go, it was your idea. What are you talking about? You told me to do this. I do want children, but I was working it out with God in chapter 15. God's like, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. And then Sarai's like, you want to bang Hagar? By the way, Abram and Sarai have an open relationship. Abram has no problem sharing Sarai. That happened in Egypt. That was cool. Sarai obviously typically doesn't have a problem sharing Abram. Where it gets a little bit dicey is Hagar. She thought she would be, a perfect unicorn, as it were. And be like, yeah, no, I'll get involved with you guys. Then when she gets pregnant, she's like, I kind of want to be wifey number one. So then in verse 6, "Your servant is in your hands," Abram said. "Do with her whatever you think is best. This was your idea. You want to beat her up?" Then Sarai mistreated Hagar, so she fled from her. So Sarai's like, "Oh, so you don't care about this, B?" Abram's like, "Yeah, this was your idea. She's conceived. I think that's cool because, I need the descendants, to be honest, and you're useless. Very beautiful, but useless. But whatever you want. I don't want to ruffle any feathers, Sarah's like, "Great." And she starts slapping Hagar around. I don't know if it's physical, but she starts, treating her like crap. Hagar's like, "I'm out of here. I don't need you guys. I'm Egyptian." The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. That's where you want to be in a desert near a spring. It was the spring that is beside the road to Shur. Good to know. And he said, Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going? This is the all-knowing God pretending like he doesn't know what's going on again, unless he doesn't know what's going on. We don't know yet. Although I don't know what sovereign means. I should look up that word, but a couple times he has been referred to as sovereign. So we can assume he may know what's going on, and he loves asking people these questions. And that's a way of making conversation. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? And this is the first time we see the angel of the Lord coming to someone. So it's always developing new sort of ingredients to throw into this story. I'm running away from my mistress, Sarai, she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, go back to your mistress and submit to her. Yeah, but she was beating me. I don't care. Do what I say. The angel added, I will so increase your descendants that they will be too numerous to count. This is such an interesting motivation. I know there are people that are like, yeah, I want to have a big family. I would love to have like 3 kids. And then there's some people out there that are like, I want to have 20 kids. Like I want to have as many kids as possible. And a lot of those people get that from this, not this particular chapter, but from the Bible in general. Like, have a lot of kids. Okay. But I don't know if there's many people these days that are like, I'm really motivated by human beings that might exist long after I'm dead, like as if they were dust or stars, or combine those, stardust. That's nice. That is something that I'm very, very interested in. Like I would be like, no, I don't want to be around those people. It's fine. My line will die here. Like, who cares? Half the time, people are like, I don't even want to raise this one. What are you talking about? Like, I wish there was some sort of potion I could drink that would cause me to miscarry. I would assume God wouldn't be all for that. God wouldn't he wouldn't suggest it. He wouldn't say, yeah, this is how you make that potion, and definitely do that under certain circumstances. The angel of the Lord also said to her, you are now with child, and you will have a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard of your misery. He will be a wild donkey of a man. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, and he will live in hostility towards all his brothers. That doesn't sound great. And then the descendants will do okay? Like then the big family will be great? Or is everyone that comes from Ishmael's line going to be fighting against everyone? Wild donkeys, as it were. The asses of the world. If it's just Ishmael, it's fine. But if forevermore there's going to be unrest and fighting and violence and just horrific acts between my descendants and someone else's descendants, I don't know if I'm that interested in that. She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one, capital, who sees me. I wonder if she is seeing the angel of the Lord, and I wonder if it's actually the Lord. That is why the well was called Beer Lahai Roi. It is still there, between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore Abram's son, and Abram gave the name Ishmael to the son who he had born. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. That is the beginning of a tumultuous relationship, I do believe. Hagar's a victim by any stretch of the imagination. The poor girl just doing what she's told, getting abused, and then Abram does not care about her at all. He does not care about this person. It's like, do what you want. Get rid of her. I don't care. I don't care about the kid. I don't care if I ever see her or whatever kid's in her womb. But God cares. God's like, go on back. I know you're miserable. I'm not saying that that's going to stop, by the way. And then she's like, you really see me. It's like, what? What? You mentioned that I was miserable. That's true. You saw that. Yeah, but look what he's planning for you. Take the kid and run. Escape. If you can. Because God's sovereign, so his plan is going to happen, whether you like it or not. If you enjoy listening to the alleged Word of God and learning about the history of the Hebrews, the history of everything that's happened in the Middle East, subscribe, ring the bell. See you next time. Thank you for coming along for the ride. Take care.